The station called Liminal 9 drifted between mapped space and rumor, a ring of alloy and old light suspended above a violet dwarf star. It was a place built for waiting. Refugees waited for transit permits, diplomats waited for answers that never came, and condemned species waited for verdicts written by distant councils. In the outermost concourse, where the artificial gravity flickered just enough to unsettle the stomach, she waited alone. Her name, translated poorly into trade standard, meant last echo of the tides. She was Thren, one of the Scifiaudiobook, an aquatic species whose world had boiled away under a runaway star. The council had granted them asylum hearings, but no promise of survival. She sat on a bench designed for bipeds, her webbed hands folded, her gills fluttering in a nervous rhythm as centuries of memory pressed against her fragile present. The Scifiaudiobook had learned patience the hard way. Their civilization had measured time in currents and migrations, not seconds and deadlines. But Liminal 9 forced a harsher accounting. Every hour that passed without a verdict meant more of her people remained frozen in orbital arcs, their ecosystems failing one recycled breath at a time. Thren was the envoy, chosen not for strength, but for endurance. She had already been here for 3 standard weeks, watched delegations come and go, watched predators and prey sit side by side under the illusion of order. Still, no one sat beside her. Many stared. Some recoiled at the faint scent of brine she carried despite the filters. Others simply pretended she was not there, as if isolation itself might erase the inconvenience of her species' existence. She was rehearsing her appeal again when the human arrived. Humans were new to the interstellar councils, their star chart still rough, their technology inelegant but stubbornly effective. Thren had seen a few pass through, soft-skinned, loud, emotionally inefficient. This one looked unremarkable. Average height, dark clothing patched at the seams, a travel-worn pack slung over one shoulder. He paused when he saw her, not in fear, but in calculation, as if noticing an empty seat rather than an alien dignitary. Without hesitation, he sat down beside her. The bench creaked under the shift in weight. Thren's gills flared in alarm. No one sat with the unjudged. Association could be interpreted as alliance, and alliances carried consequences. She turned her multifaceted eyes toward him, prepared to warn him away. "Is this seat taken?" the human asked, belatedly polite. Thren processed the question, then answered honestly. "No one has taken it," she said. Her voice carried the resonance of deep water, modulated by a translator disc at her throat. "They choose not to." He nodded, as if that confirmed something he already suspected. "I'm Elias," he said. "Waiting on a hearing, too." "You are alone," Thren observed. "Yeah," Elias replied. "Seems to be the theme around here." He glanced at the towering council doors across the concourse, their surface alive with slow-moving glyphs. "You look like you've been waiting longer than most." "Longer than my world has existed in its current form," she said quietly. Elias did not offer pity. Instead, he leaned back, folding his hands behind his head, staring up at the simulated sky. "Then maybe you could tell me about it," he said. "Waiting's easier when it's shared." The middle of the story unfolded not in grand chambers, but in conversation. Thren spoke of coral cities and bioluminescent songs that guided the young through ocean trenches. She described the day the star flared brighter than prophecy allowed, how the seas began to steam, how evacuation ships left scars in the atmosphere. Elias listened without interruption. In return, he spoke of Earth, of crowded cities and divided nations, of a species that argued constantly, yet somehow found a way to build engines capable of outrunning despair. He admitted that humanity's seat on the council was provisional, that many older species expected them to fail or fracture. We're good at surviving, he said, not always at agreeing why. Over cycles marked by the dimming and brightening of the station lights, others began to notice them. A Threxian observer paused longer than necessary. A delegation of crystalline Yul turned their refractive bodies toward the unlikely pair. The image of a human and a Scifiaudiobook sitting side by side, talking, laughing softly, sharing nutrient rations adapted awkwardly for both, spread through the concourse like a minor disturbance in a calm field. It unsettled assumptions. Thren realized that Elias was not merely offering companionship. His presence was a statement. When the council doors finally opened, Thren was called first. She rose slowly, feeling the weight of her people in every step. Elias stood as well, though his name had not been spoken. A sentinel drone drifted toward him, lights flickering in warning. I'm with her, he said simply. The drone hesitated, then deferred to protocol ambiguity. A uniquely human loophole recently added to council law. Inside the chamber, the councilors regarded them with collective surprise. Thren delivered her plea with clarity sharpened by desperation, arguing not only for sanctuary, but for partnership. We do not ask to be preserved like artifacts, she said. We ask to contribute, to adapt, to live alongside you. Elias spoke next, uninvited but unopposed. He argued that extinction was not a natural process when prevention was possible, that the measure of an interstellar civilization should be how it treated those who arrived with nothing left to lose. He reminded the council that humanity itself stood on borrowed time, its planet strained by its own excesses. If you deny them, he said, you deny the future version of yourselves, the ones who might one day need mercy. The deliberation took another agonizing weight. This time, Thren did not sit alone. When the verdict came, it was not unanimous, but it was enough. The Scifiaudiobook were granted resettlement rights in the oceanic moons of an unclaimed system, with technological support from allied species. Humanity was named as a sponsor, its provisional status elevated through demonstrated ethical leadership. Thren felt something unfamiliar swell within her, a sensation her translator struggled to name. Relief, yes, but also connection. The ending did not arrive with fireworks or speeches. It came later, on a quiet observation deck overlooking the violet star. Thren watched the light ripple across reinforced glass, thinking of new seas forming under distant skies. Elias stood beside her, hands resting on the railing. You won't be waiting anymore, he said. No, Thren agreed. But I will remember how it felt. She turned to him. Why did you sit with me that first day? Elias considered the question. Because no one should face the end of their world alone, he said. And because sitting down is sometimes the first step toward standing up for something.